Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So, I suppose today we're going to see if we're, in fact, loved or hated by a god of some nature. Because frankly, I don't know. It's risky. I don't think it's as risky as we fear, but then this is it. It's a very interesting opponent that we face. He's always been hard to predict. Though, we did call it on the bombardment, but then again, it did make the most logical sense there. So who knows, really? Who knows? Maybe things could go well, maybe things do not, who knows? I've just changed over here to mod view, unfortunately, so I lost what was in the chat, but welcome there. Gary, Parmentier, good to have you guys here. I don't know if anybody else left a message. How you doing, Benavoken? Oh, God. Tell you what, feeling the anxiety? Majorly. Majorly. Yeah, I mean, this is it. We'll hope for the best. I think just expect the absolute worst, because that's probably what is going to happen anyway, but we'll see what happens, really. I mean, we've always tried to do our best. Always tried. Okay. What you want, baby? Hang on. Yeah, we decided to go for that. Are you gonna go get a black coffee? Yeah, go get some. Go get something stronger like whiskey or something. Hope they don't lose ops points to refueling. I don't think we need that. I don't think we should have any issues regarding ops points, but I might be wrong, perhaps. I don't know. I suppose it depends on what you talk about, really. Whew. Well, here we go. Again, so much could happen here. Oh, right, I see, yeah. I think we've done the best that we could. And I think that's the way we're going to have to look at it. I mean, this is it. Bad things probably will happen, but we've got to go for it, really. Right. Okay. So we do see those assets over there, the cruisers. They probably are. They're likely to run into the ships in that area. So we'll see about that. Naval movement. So we have assets retreating there, of course. We do have an encounter here. So he's actually split them, which is interesting then. So both task forces evade combat. Now that is telling.
Fighting orphans of the Pacific. This is your favorite enemy, Orphan Anne, at Radio Tokyo, with music to lift your spirits and words to depress your morale. But first, Imperial General Headquarters announced today that the Imperial Navy has achieved another great victory near Rabaul, with the sinking of 2 carriers, a battleship, and numerous cruisers and destroyers.
See, sometimes it's just like having Orphan Anne. It's almost like having, like, salt on the wound there. But we'll see, we'll see. But it's interesting to see that Pensacola and Salt Lake City didn't engage. Now, it says they both evaded combat there. I mean, they had sighted each other. Range, let's see. I mean, they definitely sighted each other. Yes, imaginary ship sunk. So now it comes down to maybe he's told them to avoid combat, but even on, like, low, they still would have taken that, I'm sure. Yeah, that's it. So that works to our advantage. There's still other ships over here. We're still seeing a few ships in the area now. Right, so we see 2 cruisers over here. I imagine they're going to have... Ah, okay. Right, that's interesting. It would be rather amusing if the AKs actually beat them up, wouldn't it? Okay. Task Force maneuver. Yeah, they've still got some ammunition. That's not too surprising. But I don't imagine they have much. But I'd rather them wasting on an AK, to be honest. I mean, they're taking 5-inch shells. I mean, those are the cruisers we really want to knock out there. But this is not bad. I don't mind them wasting shells on something like this. Ideally, it's just less shells that might hit us somewhere else. But it's interesting to see him splitting up so much. I mean, it does make sense. Yeah, the US, there is no more. Okay. 11,000 yards. But in fairness, this is what we wanted to encounter here, really. So we're going to actually have the Boise and the St. Louis spend shells on an AK like this. That's not bad at all. She's taken a few shells there, really. Japanese task force manages to escape. Well, there we go. So she probably will go down there. If not, she's obviously going to be crippled. But she wasted a few shells. They're like the sexiest ships alive. I mean, they're one of the sexiest ships. I mean, they're like CLs that can take on heavy cruisers, essentially. Right, okay. Things can obviously still go terribly bad. Have another encounter here. Right, so we see the same ships once again. How you doing there, Alka? Good to have you, my friend. We've been going just about 7 minutes here, just really started. We've seen a number of cruisers. We have found Boise and St. Louis, I think, once again, yes. They do have ammunition. So this is actually good to have them wasted, really. Yeah, I mean, they're nasty, nasty light cruisers. Really bloody nasty. So we have a sub-chaser over here, the CHA-13. I mean, she'll be obliterated pretty quickly, but this is it. If they can't hit her, that's fine. Well, they hit her there, that's fine. If she can take a few shots, that's fine. If they miss, that's even better. Like that. That's another shot that's wasted. She's gonna go down. Yeah, she goes down. But she took a couple rounds there. Ideally, actually matters, you know. Ideally, actually makes a difference. We're still at 0% moonlight here. Right, so we are seeing assets moving a little bit. We do have Hishu actually lining up here against the Destroyer Drayton. Now, I believe they both expended munitions. It depends really which one actually has anything if they even decide to roll. There we go, we have a 12cm shell there. And again, superstructure hits, and again. She might not actually have any ammunition left. This might actually be the revenge of the Destroyers. Actually pretty accurate gunnery this time around. Honestly, that's like the most accurate gunnery I've seen for a long time. And I know the range is there, I mean... I'm still impressed. To be honest, it's nice to actually have something hit something. I know it sounds crazy, but it doesn't happen all that often, does it? Okay. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, she does have some ammunition there. But I mean, she's being blasted here by these 12cm shells. Right, so we've been ordered then to disengage. But I mean, even so, the Drayton's taken quite a few shells there. Yeah, continuously taking shells there. She's in a bad way. She's in a very bad way, but we managed to actually get through that without taking a single hit. 18 hits. That's actually remarkably, that's actually pretty remarkable for us, really. Yeah. That's actually pretty remarkable. 1,000 yards. Okay. Well, just everybody keep your expectations low. We still have a long day ahead of us, really. But it's not looking terrible so far. So we have Drayton. She's taken 18 shells, apparently. Both task forces evade combat. You can imagine what would have happened had the Amakatsu Maru actually taken over Drayton. That would have been rather amusing, but interesting that she's even heading that way. It's a little bit hard to tell. Right, so he's going south, okay. So we do have the light cruisers over here once again. Ideally, this will slow them down, but it looks like he's actually going down to position here. Now, his carriers, if they're moving at full, are very... Well, this is it. Is he moving at full? He might still be moving at mission speed. If he's moving at mission speed, we might have something interesting here. But this is actually going as we would have preferred it to go. So, that's not too bad. We might have a shot here with the Kitatai, but we'll see. It depends really if he's moving at full or whether he's moving at mission. If he's moving at mission speed, we might have a shot. We'll still see. I mean, that's likely going to be the Drayton. I mean, ideally this slows them down enough to matter. That's what we want. Ideally it slows them down enough to matter. Now, are the 5-inch and 6-inch guns on the Boise and St. Louis, are they dual purpose? I imagine they're dual purpose, aren't they? How you doing, layman? Yeah, sure. I'll if you go ahead and like message me on Discord, I'll show you how to do that. I was pretty sure. Well, this is it. He was only we actually did contemplate him potentially going north. We contemplated potentially another bombardment of Raval. But the night is still not over, the day's still not over, so things could still go badly. That's what we're gonna imagine. Our luck is always pretty nasty, so we're gonna keep it in mind. 5 inches dual, okay, 6 inch. I mean, yeah, even the 5 inches are still freaking quite awesome. So there we go. So she does take 26 shells, Jesus. She took quite a few shells there, didn't she? Ideally that slowed them down. Ideally it slowed them down. Yeah, he's had obviously the best he can get there, really. I mean, we saw like Halsey lead in beforehand, actually. Okay. So she goes down. That's not too surprising. She did a... well, that's it. Hopefully it matters. If it doesn't, and let's be honest here, if nothing comes of this, that's still good. At least we can use Skidabati event to secure the area. It's been a very trying time for us, really, hasn't it? Sorry. Yeah, I know. We've got them set to range 9, so who knows? They might have a shot at something. It depends, really. If he's gone full speed, I don't think it's going to happen. If he's gone mission, we might have a shot. It's hard to really say right now. Right, we've seen ships moving up there. That's interesting. I'm not too sure how far out that might be. It might be outside range, I'm not too sure. But he hasn't gone full, as far as I can tell. I don't know, he might have gone full. It's hard to say there. Looks like his ship's to the south. It's hard to gauge the range sometime. I don't know if he's gone full speed or if he's gone mission there. It's a bit hard to tell at this moment in time. It might be like a full speed, but I'm not too sure. It might even just be a mission. So Skidabati has arrived in the area. But even so, he's not that far away. He's moved in an interesting direction. It looks like he might actually head to the Dutch East Indies, which is interesting. But I don't know if he would do that. But it's a strange position to be at. You'd think he'd have gone straight south. But we do have the attack at Singapore here today. Can I just share with you guys that this is it. I hope you guys feel the BLeAcHACiD sometimes as well. Yes, I definitely do. But I tell you what, it's so awesome to be able to share that with people. So who knows what might happen yet? We don't know everything yet. But we'll see. Okay, that wasn't exactly spectacular. We'll be attacking here likely tomorrow. Thunderstorms over the target is why. Yeah, weather is such a difficult thing to manage. Yeah. And that's working against us there with the weather. Okay, a few more runway hits. As long as I can keep up the runway hits and try and prevent him fortifying, that's still good. A couple more there. Right, we're hitting Singapore once again then with the Sallies and the Key 48 Lilies. Seeing some ships moving up here. Now I do have the assets that Iceycrome sent to naval search, but they'll still attack these guys with bombs during the actual search. I do have some damage destroyers up north that could be potentially used if needs be. Apparently they didn't do very well. Good thing we're attacking today then. Yeah, less than impressive. We had some damage already on the runway, on the airfield itself. But yeah, it does worry you. I mean, the mistake that we made was just letting up on the actual air offensive against Singapore. Hitting ground troops was a good idea when we had, well, if we'd have had more damage. But we didn't have enough damage, really. Did I say severe storms over target? Oh, yes, there we go, severe storms. Bad storms in the area, though. We've got thunderstorms over Clark. Right, L212s. I actually do have another 2 AA regiments moving down here. Well, 2 AA battalions of sub-nature moving down there. Okay. We are intercepting here, so we have 22 zeros. We see 9 flying tigers here. Are we diving, though? That's going to be the question. We should be diving. Ideally, we come up pretty well here. That's a Blenheim damage. We'll Blenheim at bolts. 0 damage. We're flying out from Chiang Mai. But if I can take down the H-81s, that's what I want there. Ideally, that's something that goes ahead. That's 1 damaged. We do have a numbers here, so we should be able to win those. These flying tigers are damn good. It's another 1 damaged. Go on, guys. There we go, 1 down. Go on, use those numbers. Who gives a damn about the Blenheims? Obviously shoot them down too, but... I don't imagine this will go on tremendously long, but even so, we're still getting a few hits here. They might... I can't recall what altitude I set to. They're either at 15,000 or no, I think I came... No, I think I went for about 11,000 actually. I think I went a little bit higher actually. It looks like he might have actually altered his altitude as well, but we look to be around about the same because nobody's diving here. We've got a critical hit there on a HH1, which is good. Yeah, I think I came in about... There we go, another 1 shot down. Low on fuel there, there's 1 pulling out. I can't recall, I think it was about 11,000. In some ways, it's not too bad to actually come in a little bit lower initially. We can obviously put that altitude up and try and keep him guessing there. At least it gives us a little bit more range of action. There's another 1 damage there, spins away on fire. Right, so we have one of our own zeros leave, but they've only got to fly back to Chiangmai. He's only got to fly back to Rangoon. So it's pretty good for us both. That's important at 1 shot down there. That's looking good. Okay, we're looking pretty... Yeah, there we go. It's another 1 down. As this turned out to be a pretty good result for us so far, but... Damaged. And our forces will arrive at Pagoo. Another damage there. That 1 leaves, and there we go. So he doesn't make it through today. He might have an additional strike coming in. But we shoot down at least a couple of the H81s there. And as far as we know, we don't take any losses, which is good. Now, will we see anything from the carriers? That's going to be the interesting one. And even if we don't, that's still fine. We might still have opportunities. We'll have to take it as it comes, really. Okay, so nothing in AM. Moving into PM. Right, we sighted them there. Right, they're being reported hit then, so obviously the naval search is attacking. He might be too far out, but it's interesting, we do see him actually separated there. We might be too far out then. Yeah, there's subs in that area. We are seeing subs to the, sorry, we are seeing ships to the south then. It looks like there's a sub just in front of us, in fact. Or possibly so. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what we have in fuel. Allied dive bomber. That's interesting. I'm gonna be rather intrigued to see what Rabal looks like, how much damage we actually repair in its turn. But I'm glad they didn't get bombarded a second time. Okay, so no strikes from either carriers. That's not too bad then. I mean, it would have been nice to have caught something there, but who knows. It's interesting regarding the Drayton then. So we didn't see anything. Loaded over here. But we're in an interesting position now, because we still know where he is. But he's actually separated, which is intriguing. I do find his position very interesting though. He's gone to the other side. Well, he's gone near Moresby, which is an interesting one. We do have our battle over here at Singapore. We do have the reinforcements. You can see the 114th has joined us. We do have the 3 armoured regiments. I believe they are. Ideally, that works out. I don't know if we'll see it fall today. I doubt it's going to fall today. So it's likely going to be another couple days after this that we finally do get the attack we need. But we'll have to hope for the best. He's not in the best shape. The 27th Australia is his best unit over there. He's got a few other units over here, but they're not in particularly great shape. The end is coming. Ideally, it will come within the week. Tell you what, though, that's so much better, though, just to, like, have things actually go ahead and, okay. We've used fuel, but that seems to be about the worst of it. We had a couple of ships sink. I mean, they did slow them down. Not enough, it seems, but they've still used ammunition. He hasn't rearmed as of yet. Now, the interesting thing comes down to, like, where can he rearm? Because he's got a few, well, he's got quite a lot of actual assets that are lacking. ammunition now. So we still have quite an advantage. We can actually force him into an action that is disadvantageous for him. We have belay that could potentially be used. Okay, 14th Tank Regiment attack. Imperial Guard attacking now. Oh, so you see 22nd actually collapsed there. That was quite... Oh no, it's the 27th, isn't it? God damn it, I was hoping it was actually the... Oh, god damn it. Still feeling the anxiety. I want this attack to succeed, but you know, I know it's not, I know it's not. #21st Independent Mixed Brigade attacking. Now, we'll have additional reinforcements shortly as well. The rest of 4th Division will be arriving here shortly. We do have another armoured unit moving south as well, so there is additional forces that are coming too. I mean, 4th Division has had a lot of its actual squad shot up, but they can be repaired. I know, it'd be nice to think. I can't believe how much it's taken to take Singapore, but then again, we could have had it sooner if we'd have done things in the right way. But this is it, it's all about that learning. I think we'll probably lose some tanks, but ideally the tanks do help us out significantly. Having that armor should definitely help us out. You can see a lot of these units have been reduced down to 0 or near enough 0. SSVF Brigade. Okay. 3rd Cavalry. A lot of these units had been beaten up, but apparently not as much as we would have hoped for. I think in future games it might be better to potentially go for shock attacks over here in the mainland to try and force it. 541, 527, yeah. Well, we're down to 0 now. We had 1,130 there. So we have 904 casualties, but that's really solid there. Oh wow, okay. So we only lose 6 squads there. That's actually really quite profound there. 76 disabled, 5 disabled, 14 disabled. That's really good. He has 1,003. That's it, yep. He's going to be gone soon. 85 squads destroyed, 34 disabled, 4 non-combatants, 61 disabled, 2 engineers, 14 disabled, 18 guns destroyed, 14 disabled, 1 vehicle destroyed, 14 disabled. The end is coming. The end is... it is pretty much nigh. He's down to 0 fortifications. Look at that number there. We just need to have that time to recover the fatigue. Additional units might even be able to potentially join us, and then that'll be over. And then we'll finally have Singapore. We have a shock attack over here then. So yeah. Oh, he actually does have the 90th Chinese Corps actually. So that looks like it moved in there. But we still have 116th Division, we still have all the armor, we're still fighting in clear terrain. So ideally we should be able to absolutely annihilate the 90th Chinese Corps as well. Yeah, we'll see what their condition is. It'd be nice to really just absolutely ruin another 90th, well, to ruin the 90th Corps. And that arm should do a lot. I mean, it's a shock attack. It's in clear terrain. We should be able to manage this shortly. Either way, I don't think we're going to have a bad result. Yep, it's going down there. That's a lot of armor. That's a unit destroyed there. I think he's going to be forced to retreat no matter what, really. 12th Tank Regiment attacking. 5th Tank Regiment attacking. You can just see it dropping there. 11th Tank Regiment attack. Yep, it's going down now. 1,136 to 144, yep. So they're out of there. We didn't annihilate the 90th, but I think we definitely caused quite a lot of damage there. So they've been forced back. So he had a little bit more than we actually anticipated, but actually still worked out well there, really. And shock attacks in clear terrain when you have so much armor are always going to be pretty devastating to the enemy. Let's see how that turned out. So he's actually lacking supply. Holy shit, that's going to be bad for him. So we had 24 tanks actually knocked out, but that's not too bad. We can obviously rebuild those. 62 disabled. But we had 4 squads destroyed, 54 disabled, 43 disabled. So loss is pretty low there. He had, yeah, okay, wow. So 9,758 casualties there. To our 348. 607 squads destroyed, 130 disabled, 524 non-combatants destroyed, 106 disabled, 18 engineers destroyed, 10 disabled, 77 guns, 71 lost. Jeez, that is a lot of guns there to lose. 6 disabled, 9 units retreat, 1 destroyed there. So he's been forced back to Nanyang. That's pretty rough for him there. We have a deliberate attack over here. Yeah, see, this is it. I was contemplating an actual shock attack over here. I'm kind of glad I went with the deliberate. It would have probably it would have defeated them the shock attack as well, I'd imagine. But I still wanted to play it a little bit safer. 894, 76. Yeah, we could have gone for a shock attack. But this is it. It was a unit that was stronger than I expected, so this is the difficulty in not having that information. So 2 scores destroyed, 25 disabled, 2 disabled for non-combatants, 1 engineer disabled, 3 disabled engineers. We inflict 1,332 casualties, 90 destroyed squads. That's pretty good there, so he's lost a lot of that AV. And we're going to keep on pushing. So where did he fall back to? Did anybody see where he fell back to? Was it here? It might have been here, actually, so I need to go ahead and clear that out. I'm going to have to clear that out anyway. So we have our bombardment over here at Clark. At least it gives us a running tally of what's going on here at Clark. I think there was like 20... was it 21, 22 units? There's the ships I'm actually pulling out of Luzon. Reorganization going ahead there. Okay. I'll go ahead and speed things up now. We'll likely be able to attack tomorrow. Yeah, so we have 1 vehicle destroyed. We inflict 55 casualties, 1 destroyed there for the squads, 4 disabled, 2 non-combatants disabled, 1 engineer destroyed there. So we're at 2,018 AV, he's at 563 AV. So he has been diminished. I think we will get Clark. And we have a shock attack over here at Bagoo. They are in combat mode. I'm glad they're in combat mode because I completely forgot about the bloody river. But we actually do see the 13th Indian Brigade there, which is pretty strong. This will be interesting then because I completely forgot about the river. We should be able to still manage this, I imagine. Hope for the best, right? Right, so far the attacking. I mean, they're not exactly great troops, but ideally they win this with a shock attack. And just obviously the sheer amount of numbers there. When he's in clear terrain, he might have fortifications, but let's just hope that we can kick him out and not take tremendous casualties. 324, 21. Oh, we catch Bagoo. He's forced to retreat. Banzai. That's good news. It's a difficult position. Well, it's a dangerous position to begin to be in clear terrain, but he committed one of his stronger units there. So let's see. We had 223 casualties. Defender, preparation, fatigue, morale, experience. We had shock plus and only the morale, so that's not too bad. We didn't have any minuses from... he had 4 level 1 from, like, fatigue or anything like that. But the good news is we're actually in the base now. So we had 223 casualties, 2 squads destroyed, 59 disabled, 1 non-combatant disabled. Oh, wow. We destroyed 85 squads, 29 disabled, 73 non-combatants destroyed, 23 disabled, 9 engineers destroyed, 5 guns destroyed there, 4 units retreat. That's actually pretty good. That's more than I actually expected, but that's pretty good for us. Bloody hell. That was quite the unexpected turn of events, really, for us. It's actually been a positive turn. It's actually been a positive turn. I think we've had good things all around. We had some good things in China there. And Bagoo's pretty good. I mean, we might be in a position now where we can actually put some serious pressure on Rangoon. But we're actually in a position where, dare I say, I spoke about as being. Which is kind of crazy. Okay. And it would have been better had the Kid up been able to find some unlucky targets and get some vengeance. But it's not too bad. We're in an interesting position. Obviously, it's going to take some figuring out what we do next. But we know he has forces to the south. We know he obviously has his carriers to the north. So he's in an interesting position, really. But the fact that he's gone to Port Moresby End, I mean, he's not confined dramatically, but he is confined to a degree. It does limit his range of movement to a degree, which is very interesting. So we'll go ahead and we'll call this then. Oh, wow. I tell you what, that's not the turn I was prepared for. I was prepared for, obviously, like, the complete destruction of the Kidapati, essentially. So I'm glad that didn't come to pass. I'm sure you guys are as well. Okay. So we've got our save there. Go ahead and check on the aircraft losses. Apparently we had 5 HA-21 shot down today. 2 Blenheims. A Sally goes down. We had a 0 go down to Ops. We had an S-23 go down to Ops. Donya 24 go down to Ops there. I'm already on top of it 4. Haha! I'm fairly ahead of the curve. Okay, so ship sunk today then. Apparently she went down. Oh, we scuttled her. That was the reason. She was at like 90 odd fires, if it's the ship I'm thinking of. She went down. It's a shame that we didn't get to slow them enough to be able to strike. I think we took out the Drayton, but it's hard to say that, really. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual situation down here. Yeah, so... Okay. Severe storms over here. He's overcast. I mean, this is interesting, then, so let's go ahead and take a look, then. Of course, he has detection on Kid of a Tie. Would have been a shame if he didn't, wouldn't it? Yeah. But our fuel's still pretty damn good there. And we have, obviously, to refuel the destroyers, but that's not too bad there. A Kargi's not spotted, but the good news is we do have a little bit of fuel over here at Talagi. We do have ships in the area that I can potentially use to refuel from if we need to. We do have fuel headed down to this area, so we can make use of that. Nugara, the Iranian champ, she actually has more fires this turn, but she's still alive. Kitagami's not on fire. Hamikaze, she had a lot of fires. Like, she's got less fires this time, but she's like, yeah, she's still on fire. She's still hot. She's still pretty damn hot. We do have Kiyokawa. Yeah, but we have some different. I mean, even I tell you what, the Yoshida Maru actually would be a good idea. Potentially moving her to Talagi, perhaps. So that would potentially give us an opportunity to then rearm if we needed to. But I don't know if it'll come to something like that. But it's pretty interesting. I mean, if we take a look over here, then. So, how far? I don't think it's far. I don't think we're far out there. Yeah, we're 2 hexes out there. Had he been 2 hexes closer, we would have been able to engage there. His ships are 12 hexes to the south there. It's a very interesting position. We do actually have ships over here that we could potentially use. So this is the beauty here, then. We do have little task forces we could potentially use then either to refuel from, or even potentially like cause a little bit of a problem for him. Because he might have his actual strikes target those guys. And we might be able to use them like some sort of ablative armor in essence. Good result then, to be honest. So how's Rabal looking? Why are we not seeing... Has anything been repaired here? What are they doing? I'm not understanding this. What was the numbers beforehand? Has that been repaired to some extent? Are they just focusing... Is it the service damage? Does anybody remember what the numbers was? I can't remember what they were, actually. I imagine some repair has been done. I was hoping that we might have had a little bit more done, but it'll be repaired then. Surely soon enough. Not as much as I was hoping for. We do have more fuel, more supply at the base, and that's good news. Okay. Right, she's heading back. Ah, there we go. Being hosted by a Sylvan group, thank you very much. So, much better turn of events today than really. Now, the good news is Truck is actually no longer threatened here, so that actually does give us a little bit more we can actually play with there. You can see that's 14 hexes out from Lay. But what I could potentially do is maybe... it's difficult because Talagi doesn't have that much in the way of supply. But we could potentially base maybe some zeros there at Talagi to potentially have the ability to give us some LRC AP, perhaps, or even like that sort of thing there. 14, 64, 98. Only repaired 1 airfield damage. That's so bizarre. I don't know why we haven't repaired more than that, then. We weren't even... What the hell were they doing then? That's weird. I mean, considering that we have 242 engineers, 12 engineer vehicles. No, sorry, yes, 12 engineers. That's very strange. I mean, each vehicle's worth 4 engineers. I'm not too sure on that one, really. Not too sure. Maybe they'll start repairing this turn? Maybe, I don't know. It just seems strange, actually. Very odd, very odd. Okay. What I'm going to do here, then, is... 1 second there, guys. I'm going to go ahead and send get over turn to have a look at. But that went a lot better than I was really hoping for, to be honest. That went better than I imagined it would do. So at least we have that going for us, which is nice. It's nice to have something. I mean, it could have been better. It could have obviously been significantly better, but it could have been significantly worse as well. So don't mind that in the slightest. Okay. What are we looking like at airfield damage here? So he's only at 10. Yeah, that's the problem there. How are our forces looking then? Fatigue's not too bad. I mean, Imperial Guard's at 49. How you doing there, Mike? Good to have you, my friend. 24, 23, 24's not too bad. Ideally, the weather. I mean, what are we looking at over here then? How do we... Let's see, what's the forecast? I can't... Does it tell you? Oh, there we go. Forecast is clear sky. So this gives us a... I mean, this is something I probably should be using more often as a forecast, really. So we do have a forecast of a clear sky. We got 10 damage. If we can obviously get the bombs in tomorrow, we should have that. I did actually order bombing of Batavian airfield today, but it seems like it didn't go ahead for some reason. We do see a few aircraft over here in Merrick. We see the aircraft over here. We're actually getting ready to invade Java, which is going to be a lot of fun. So let's see. Right, they need to go ahead and load up the 8th Tank Regiment. Right, get them loaded. There we go. In fairness, I could load supplies for all of these task forces, but I don't want to just like drain it. I want to kind of like control which units have supply, etc. Okay. So, right, we do. I have like extra room over here. So they're going to be able to start moving out to Benjamin. Each ship has a little bit of supply as well, which is quite handy. Obviously, there's some ships that actually do have more, but each ship having a little bit of supply is not too bad. So that's good news. So they're actually loaded up. So what we can do then is actually have a move out to Benjamin, however you want to pronounce that. We can go ahead and actually pick up the 146th Regiment. And we're going to be looking to invade about here then. We've got our forces moving down from Palembang right now. The additional AA has not yet arrived, but it will be arriving shortly. Right, so 124th Regiment will begin moving out today. 144th Regiment will join them the day after, or maybe a little bit after that, depends. The additional AA is going to be moving down there, so we're going to have quite a few extra 75mm guns there, which is good. And this is it. This is going to be the point where we can actually have forces move across very quickly, and we can use that as our resupply point as well. I mean, even barges could potentially do it from, like, Merrick, from East Haven, well, East Haven to Merrick. Could potentially do that just even using barges. But then again, using barges is kind of asking for it, because if they get straight, they're going to go down to, like, MG fire, essentially. But not bad. Okay, so the torpedo boat's actually loaded up. The Yokosuka. SLF, well, the actual paratroopers there. So, Yokosuka SLF. So they're loading over here. What I can go ahead and do then is actually go ahead and pick up the rest. So I'm going to have them actually go ahead and have a home port over here to Sinabang. I'll have them replenish the port. So it's reached its capacity for today. But we have got a little bit more fuel in there. Choose a lot of ops points, so it's going to delay them somewhat. But we're going to make sure they're fueled. But has it not picked up them entirely? Oh, so there's one unit. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, no airfield. Okay. How you doing there, Paul? Good to have you, my friend. I just found that shoots is probably ending. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. We've been going here about 40 minutes. My god, 40 minutes has gone by quick there. Right, so we do have these assets over here. Yeah, so, this is good news then. So it looks like Singapore is cracking there. And I could potentially have another attack, minus the Imperial Guard, but it's probably better to... I think we have a day's rest for these guys, 37.49 there. I think a day's rest would be required. 49 is a lot of fatigue there. We do have 44th that's arrived over here. They're crossing over to Singapore. They'll arrive in likely in 2 days. I do have the 5th Reconnaissance Regiment as well, which is likely going to arrive in... Well, they're gonna move 60 tomorrow. Is it? Yeah, 60 on Major Road, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, 60 for armored units on Major Road. If I remember correctly. So it'll take them 2 days to arrive at Singapore. So we could maybe wait about 2 days or so, give them that time to rest and give us that time to get those extra units, if we need to do that. But it might be worthwhile doing so. We have 1012 assault value. I mean, we can take a look at this next turn. If we've got ourselves in a good position, 114th didn't really take much of the way in damage either, which is nice. So yes, what we'll do then is we'll set it for defense right now. But we'll take a look at the actual numbers next turn. I mean, if that diminishes enough, then we could probably go ahead and launch an attack. If they're good enough, we'll go ahead and do it earlier. But if they're not, then we can actually have that luxury and have additional units move in. It feels like he's sensing the end here, considering he's moving units out. Okay. So I am using Hayashio over here to actually go ahead and unload units here. So started out, I mean this is it, I might as well, because we're transferring actual supply, and we're also transferring additional units over here, but it's not even additional units, it's just the rest of the 82nd JAF airfield base unit there. Battalion, sorry. So it's worthwhile doing. What we're going to do then is build Port Blair up. We're going to build Port Blair up so I can actually use it as a full-on base with zeros and G3s or G4s. And then we can actually strike out into the Indian Ocean, into the Bay of Bengal. So we did see him produce those ships around this area, which is very interesting. He's definitely active in that area. So we do need to beef up our defenses along here, really. And obviously Bangkok can also defend itself, but yeah. So we did capture Pegu today, which was really awesome. So 2 units over here to the north. We see him still moving units over here then. Yeah, he's moving units. So what state are we in then? So fatigue and disruption's not even that bad. Obviously we could do with having a bit of a rest there. The beauty is we actually do have that chance of rest. He's got 1817 here. He has 55 here. Seen you comment on one of the West's YouTube video for Play by Email. That's going anywhere. Oh, what was his name? Was it the Complex Strategy Gamer? I think that's his name. He seemed interesting. I need to get in contact with him, actually. Tortuga might be potentially up for something. But yeah, it'd be nice to try and go and do something like that for one of the West. That'd be pretty cool. The stream last... was it last night? But no, yeah, it was last night. That was pretty fun, actually. No, well, things are going pretty well. How you doing there, BGG? Everybody go ahead and check out BGG on YouTube. That is the Battle Group Gamer. And yes, ladies, he is single. Not anymore. Oh dear. Okay. So I'm assembling mixed brigades. I would like to have the actual division here as well. That would be nice. I'm going to actually have the armored car here. The reason being... Well, then again, do I... Yeah, I'm going to keep them here, actually. The reason being... they can actually move along here. So optimistic for you to think that we've been watching. Yeah, I know, right? Who knows? Who knows? Okay. Yeah, fatigue is great. No disruptions, fantastic. Right then. So we do see 2 units over here. We see units over here. I need to go ahead and actually destroy these units then. I might potentially bring one of the mixed brigades down this way then to go ahead and deal with them. It's not a tremendous problem, but it's obviously something that we do need to actually take care of just in case. So we're going to begin marching here. So set all to march. Right, there we go. I haven't killed as many tigers as I have buffaloes. Yeah, to be fair, you find... Well, it's a lot easier to kill the buffaloes because you find the buffaloes a lot more. Okay. But she's done it. I was trying to think about that joke. I'm thinking, are you talking about the other game? But no, I get that joke. That's such a pretty good joke. I'm going to have to use that one in the future, actually. How much of the Manchurian forces have moved out? To be fair, there is more of the actual Manchurian forces I could move here. What at 8802? I could move out like armored units and artillery. I need to go ahead and actually take a look through here and really see what else we could move out. But quite a lot, really. Quite a lot. Okay. Yeah, it was nice to actually take some of those HH1s down with really relatively long... actually, I need to go ahead and check on Raphael's aircraft, don't I? I forgot about that. So we do have our divisions over here, which is looking good. We also have a lot of, well, artillery. Yeah, well, this is it. We're obviously going to leave the majority of that there. Right, I'm going to order an attack here. Living life close to the edge. Right, we're all in combat mode now. I mean, I don't know if it's even worthwhile bringing AA. Probably not. But who knows? It might come in handy. He might potentially use some air power against us, so having at least some AA units might be, I don't know, it might give them an, I don't know. I'm just wondering if you're decided when the next one of these shifts is going to happen. Have I actually released all the one of the East episodes? I think I did about 2 or so. Not too long. Not too far away, really. Yeah. Okay. No, quite happy about that. I mean, the shock attack over here was pretty good. Okay. I mean, China is going actually pretty well in our favour here, but that is in fairness. I've had, there's been a few people who said that Dadman is terrible on land. It's not really as terrible, it's just the fact that he's just not doing things. Which is fine. You know, I'm not going to look at gift horse in the mouth. In the mouth. That's the way we're going to look at this. He's doing really us a really big favour. So there's 21 units here at the moment. 9 units here. Let's see. I've got some reconnaissance. Oh yeah, there we go. So we can go ahead and actually attack that. I'm going to go ahead and attack that. There we go. Now that's good. So he's still not attacked over here, but if we can actually take this base of attackers. It's going to cut him off from some supply. Sorry, from some supply. That might work to our favour. That's a lot of escort task forces. Oh, I use escort task forces for most things, really. The reason being you can fit practically anything into an escort task force. So it's just, I don't know, it's just easier to get a lot of ships in there, really. You don't have to worry about as much with escorts. Really hard to support an allied, adding China, given the spice. Well, yeah. I mean, we're looking pretty good at Rangoon, to be fair. Oh no. Well, yeah, we are getting our ass kicked at sea, but not in that sea. Not in that sea. Not right now. So we're looking at 16 units there. So we had 4 units move into Rangoon. We didn't destroy the brigade or whatever it was. We did diminish it, which was good. So he's not going to have as much AV at Rangoon. Which is quite nice. So I do have another unit moving here, the 6 RTA, which is 46 assault value. It might be worthwhile potentially just to rest here then at Pagoo. Also going to need to have supply move in here. I've got 17 engineers. I don't know, I think it's one of those where I don't think they'll be able to take it. I think we'll have to make some choices here. I mean, what I've always favoured is having a RTA division march north. And then put pressure on bases over here, really. And just put pressure on by actually moving north. Yeah, no, I don't expect the RTA to take it alone. I might hold up here at Pagoo. Or I might even... Well, to be fair, I might as well move into Rangoon. Because even if I'm not attacking at Rangoon, I'm still benefiting from, like, the ×2 defense then. Of the actual Hex side itself. We are going to get Japanese forces moving up here ASAP, really. As soon as we have Singapore cleared, we'll have Japanese forces move up here to Rangoon. We're going to commit at least 2 divisions, at least. In fairness, if I had the shipping over here, I mean, I could get the shipping through there and have it go around Sumatra. Issues, we have to tie up some of the actual RTA by carrying out garrison duties. Well, yeah, I mean, this is it. We do have a rough idea of numbers there. We know he had... Let's see. Yeah, so no Pensacola and Salt Lake City are out. Didn't St. Louis have a... didn't Pensacola and St. Louis actually collide? So definitely not much in the way of damage there, but at least there could be some damage. Drayton must have sank there. Yeah, there we go. 85 squads being destroyed is nice. Yeah, so 13th Indian Brigade, 4th Burma Rifles Battalion, 2nd Burma Brigade, 107th RAF Base Force. Obviously, the base force isn't going to have much in the way of squads. So even though we didn't destroy the units, we still wiped out their 85 squads, which is probably not a lot from all of those units. I mean, the large unit there did have quite a lot. But even so, it's like the units that were diminished are going to be further diminished now, which is good news. So that's interesting. Okay. I think what we do then is we move upon Rangoon. It depends, really. I could form the first RTA. We're not going to have a lot there, but it might still be worthwhile to do so, really. Just because then we obviously gain the advantage of the urban light. I don't know what he could do. Yeah, moving in Bombard is not a bad idea, perhaps. Yeah, even a bombardment like that wouldn't be bad. He's got about 170 guns then, apparently. AFVs is interesting, because that could be like trucks, etc. We have a similar amount of guns, obviously no AFVs. We'll have some extra guns moving there. We'll be able to reform that division there. Yeah, as soon as I can get some Japanese forces, will look better. I wish there was a rail line here, but obviously, yeah. That's what makes this area a bit tough. In fairness, I could potentially fly some units in, perhaps. But, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the problem, HQ support. We don't have HQ support for them, really. The actual Thai headquarters over here is a static one, so it can't move, which is a shame there. If we could get a headquarters, that wouldn't be a bad idea, but it's like trying to find a headquarters. I mean, what I might do is actually move Southern Army Command up to Chiang Mai, and then it would actually be able to help us out all the way around here. We'll probably have to have Southern Army made available for Java, but it's something we could potentially do there. I don't form the Burma Division until last minute. I think parts have been a chance to regain morale. Yeah, that's a fair point there. Okay. Let's take a look at our units over here at Clarkman. 27, 27, 28, 30, 27. I mean, we could go ahead and attack with that. Depends on the damage of the airfield, really. 16 damage. The forecast is partly cloudy. Yeah, well, Chiang Mai is not too bad, though, to be fair. Like, it is vulnerable to attack. It is jungle-free terrain, though. So it's pretty, sorry, jungle-free, jungle-rough terrain, which is ×3. And we are building up the actual airbase itself. I do have a AA unit. I'm actually sending additional AA units over here as well. What I did is I had the zeros. Yes, it was 11,000 feet then, so obviously we'd know to go higher next time. That fatigue is pretty high, though, so I'm not going to be doing it again. Not this turn. I do have the rest of the Zero Squadron down here at Bangkok. So I think what we'll do then is we'll actually reform the Zero Squadron at Chiang Mai. And then at least we can actually put the pressure there on Rangoon. Because if I could actually... Well, this is it. The issues the amount of fighters he has. But he did lose a couple fighters. That's nice. He didn't have his attack actually go through against our ground forces, which is good. I mean, that obviously helped us out to a degree there. I don't think it would have potentially mattered as much due to the fact that we had that shit amount of AV there. But even so, we need to pressure him in the air. Shooting down the H-81s is always a good thing to do. We'll just have to get the things built up. Chiang Mai's been built up slowly but surely, so that's going to be good. I've got at least 2 AA units moved from Kutuburu. Are there any other bases you can put your planes a little further from Rangoon? The distance doesn't particularly matter that much, due to the fact that obviously, if he's going to bring bombers and he's going to try to bomb us, he could bomb Bangkok if he's got bombers there. Yeah, the reason why you go for Chiang Mai is the fact that it's on a rail line, it's ×3 terrain, it's just one he can't really do much about. I love the fact there's Major Road here, that's awesome. Yeah, because it's ×3, it's behind rivers over here. Obviously we do have Bagu, which is buffer, well, gives us a big buffer here. He's not going to be able to move in there to capture it. He can try to attack it via air, but then he's only got a few bombers. He's got a lot of fighters, but even so, that's still not too bad. We'd obviously be able to keep the airbase functioning, but at least we're actually flying a cap. We're flying, well, overhead of our own base. It'd actually be pretty good for us. Yeah, Mulmian would be nice. Well, we have Mulmian, sorry. But obviously, getting actual assets there would be good too. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't actually matter to me about the road over here. Also due to the track. I mean, it's one of those where you could rail in there, but it'd take a long time to march there. But at least you'd have major roads, so you could do that. That is like a way into Burma. I don't think it's worthwhile bothering with, really. But you've got so much terrain to go over there. And it's all bloody jungle rough. So all he has to do is just leave like one unit there, and you're like, yeah, that's gonna be rough. Yeah, it is. It is in fact a trap. Is the Cobra Force in Burma a paratrooper unit? I think there is a unit that will arrive in Burma. Yeah, Viper Force. That is like, I think it is some sort of paratrooper unit. But I don't know what time it arrives, actually. But the good news is it's only 18th of January, so we are close to Rangoon now. So we have a few options here. We could potentially rest a turn. I think it's worthwhile to rest a turn. I could keep in combat mode. So in fairness, I'm not going to recuperate that much. What's the actual disruption, actually? Sorry. Disruption is up there. We could go for a rest, but it's probably better... Well, but again, I don't have to worry about rivers. So we're not going to get shock attacked. I might as well go into rest mode then. They'll probably not be able to stay in rest mode, but that's still not too bad. God, what am I doing here? Right, better go rest. Okay. The issue with the TIE forces as well is they can actually be much stronger than this. The issue is they start out with a load of disabled units. Like you can see here, 2nd RT8 starts out with pretty much half of its strength. So eventually they can be built up, and the good thing is we have withdrawals turned off in this game, which is something I had forgotten about, because I just had it noticed. But yes, we have withdrawals turned off in this game. So these RTA divisions are going to stick around. So that means that eventually they'll recover their full strength, which is good. It's actually pretty good. It means we'll be able to make full use of the RTA for quite a while, actually. I can imagine, obviously, them being at full strength, it's going to be really great to allow us to actually garrison bases around the area and then keep the Japanese forces moving forward, really. So that's looking pretty positive there. I'm going to go ahead and make a second save, just in case. Yeah, I know. It's something I'd forgotten about, but well. I don't think he needs much more to kick our ass. He's doing a pretty good job so far. Right. I am getting ready for the Aleutian Isles operation. Sorry, the Aleutian Isles. The Aleutian Island operation. I've got a lot of assets built up over here, actually. Plenty of supply. Actual support units. I need to be able to get some AV into this area as well, so like aviation support. And obviously the assault value. But we do have how we have the actual units required. Do you have the border crossing rules? Nah. There's really... I think the only rule, effectively, that I can remember is we have to pay for units to come out of China. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at Raphael then. Right. So we do have more zeros. Obviously, they're not going to repair very quickly due to the actual runway being a smoking crater. Oh, it's seen wormholes open up. Oh dear. Yeah. And that's the rules I would play with in the THG game as well. Right. What we're going to do here as well, we've started moving our forces inland. There's going to be certain bases that we are going to use. Just, yeah, this base is going to be what we need. The reason is it can't be bombarded by sea. And it's really hard to get there. Like, there's no roads to it. And it's jungle rough terrain. So this is essentially going to be a base that we build up to actually be the center there. It's not the largest base in the world, but it is protected, which is very good. It allows us actually to make full use of this area here, which is excellent. We are going to have Buna captured by the 11th RTA. The good news is, obviously, we do have Buin, which is still general defense here. Yeah, I'll show you those in just a sec. So I did have some of the restricted command H6K4 shot down due to his cap, but also still having to build them to replace the losses. But even so, we've got more. We've got more in the area than we would have had. I mean, that's like another 13 H6K4s than we should have had, so that's still pretty damn good. Because there's a lot of naval surge, and that's going to be really, really helpful for us. Right, morale, you want to see? Okay. See, I can't recall what it was beforehand, actually. I imagine it wasn't that bad, but we'd have to go ahead and check. You could probably go ahead and check on, like, previous episodes and see what the differences are there. I'd imagine you could actually trade, change out the pilots if morale's been devastated. It's a shame you can't get flying boats. Well, this is it, yeah. The PB-Ys are pretty amazing. So what range is he at now? So he's actually within range of Raphael still, which is nice. Yeah. How far is that, man? 5 hexes, okay. So we do still have the, I mean, honestly, I don't think Raphael's... I mean, this is it. I'm a little bit disappointed that Raphael hasn't repaired, to be honest. He's actually got pretty damn good detection over Raphael. Right, so they still have some supply there. I'm glad that we have supply. I'm glad that we haven't had our supply shot there. I don't know if this island's called Buin. I don't know, it's a little bit confusing. The base is called Shortlands, but you see Buin. I don't know if Buin is the actual island or a base here. It might be that base. I'm not too... Well, that's not... Maybe that's the island of Buin. Who knows? Okay. So, the submarines over here, then. Not seeing detection on them. Yeah. That works to our favor. We didn't find the ships around here, which is odd. I don't know, maybe we'll find them at a later point, but it's a shame actually, because it was a large convoy. Maybe it had gone somewhere else, really. But then again, we had been seeing things around Midway, so maybe it was going to Midway. That's interesting. Not bad at all, really. Not bad at all. We had a successful attack at Singapore, which is really nice. And we didn't take the base, but the base is now down to no fortifications. Airfield damage is only down to 10, but that's obviously due to the weather. We should have the weather we need next turn, so we should be good there. Yeah, I've got the 2 DDs over here. Is one actually in repair? Oh, one of them's in PSI repair. I don't think it's going to do anything good, though. No. Okay. We still have you over here. You had some of your main guns knocked out, but you still have some guns. No torpedoes, of course. She's damaged, but she's still capable of action, really. She could probably still kick ass over here. I don't know if I want to advertise that they are damaged. Weather delays for airstrikes are a pain, yeah. Well, this is it, yeah. We were quite fortunate as we still had some strikes go ahead. We still had some actually land home, which was nice. No, so we're looking pretty good, to be fair. We've got forces moving out over here, which is nice. Okay. These DDs have been refueled. Okay. He still hasn't attacked over here, which is good. Works to our advantage. These guys could obviously be pushed back if he decides to attack, but he hasn't so far, so that's fine. So we could potentially take Batangas next turn, which would be very nice. If we can take this base over here, then that's actually interesting. It actually isolates him to a degree. He could obviously just march south with forces from Manila, no problem. But, yeah, things are going well. I really appreciate that he's not doing much in terms of actual moving land forces. It's really nice. It is really nice. I think it's the only thing that we've had going for us, really, is he's given us that gift. I don't know, it probably is worthwhile attacking next turn. Like, fatigue's not too bad. I don't know, maybe. I'll have to think about that one. We've got the airfield damage, it probably is... I can probably wait a little while. I've got the additional bombers over here at Singapore, but I could maybe fly in today. Ah, there we go, yes. We could make it to San Fernando... 13. Yes, so we could actually make it across there to Luzon. And so that's good news. So obviously they would need to rest for a little while to reduce their fatigue, but it does mean that we'd have additional light bombers I could actually use to keep up the airfield damage, and also just keep hitting him in these bases. That's nice. So he's actually got 10 auxiliaries back here once again. Or at least, I don't know, maybe they know that. Hitting that airfield, nice. The amount of damage that comes from the actual flak bow is pretty spectacular. Yeah, he's definitely running naval search there. Right, so I did move this force down here to Marie, actually. It's a large force, it's 19 ships, but these are obviously majority destroyers. The reason why I moved it here to Marie is so it can actually go ahead and refuel, essentially. Yeah. I mean, the Fuso is actually pretty... I don't know if that's the... No, that's the amount of fuel it has right now, I believe. So let's see. I could disband, obviously it's not going to be able to refuel them all, but if we can get going on it, that'd be nice. So Yamashiro has received any fuel. It looks like the destroyers are pretty much topped up, which is nice. Yeah, Fuso's received additional fuel. So we'll have them fully refueled tomorrow in a Marie. You can see that she's quite a bit of fuel there. But it'll be, we'll have more shortly. I could even potentially have them run a fast transport mission to possibly... No, but again, I don't want to take supply from Marie, do I? No, we're moving additional supply to Marie. We don't want to take it away. Never mind, bad suggestion. There's a temptation to actually go ahead and bombard Kuching. I might go ahead and bombard Kuching. Maybe. But I think I'd rather get these forces moving. What we're going to essentially do then is, I think we'll have the BBs move over here to the Baldwar. I mean, I think what we'll do then is we'll bring the 5 battleships. We'll actually have them used against Wake if we can. If we get the opportunity, that's kind of what they'd be used for, really, just to smash those islands. But the very likely place would, in fact, be Port Moresby for bombardments of such caliber. That would be nice. And we do finally have a G3 available there, so that's nice. At least we can move you. And we even have the H6 K4. Dreams do come true. I'll keep her there for the time being. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we do have torpedo range at... Well, we have torpedo availability at Ley, which is pretty damn good. Let's see. Moving there closer and closer to level 4. So it's like, in theory, if I wanted to actually use the naval strike with the H6 K4s, I could, and they'd obviously have the range up there to 20. I don't know, this position's interesting. How far did he roughly move then? Was he about here? It was kind of like this area. So he's not moved at full speed then. He did move outside our range, but he didn't move at full speed if I'm correct there. Which is interesting. He doesn't really move at full speed often, but then again, it makes me wonder if he has a capability. Let's see. Moving west, moving west. 10 ships over here. 2 ships there, supposedly. 4 ships here. It does make me wonder, what's actual... So it's overcast here then. Okay. That might explain why we don't have more information. Moving southwest. Right. Whereabouts were these forces beforehand, actually? That's something that remains to be seen. I mean, that could be potentially his refueling force there. We haven't detected anything like a carrier, and we have a lot of naval search in this area, which is actually really quite important for us. I mean, having the actual 13 extra H6K4s being available there at Bowen is very nice. It gives us a lot more information to work with, a hell of a lot more reliable information to work with than we would actually normally be able to count upon, which is very nice. Yeah, it's a shame about Rabal. It does mean that we have to be a little bit more cautious, potentially, as we don't have Rabal operational yet. But that's not too bad. We actually do have... Well, trucks are no longer under threat, so that means we could potentially move out the Tainan KOS if I so wish to do so. I don't have that much supply at Ley, but I could potentially get supply there. And even having zeros potentially available for 14 hexes of LRCAP is a pretty powerful thing there. We could potentially base a strike out from Ley, but It depends, really. We've got a lot of aviation support I can work with. And we've got a lot of engineers to keep the base operational if we so need to. More supply would be nice, though. But we do have additional supply moving in. Like, for example, I've got these guys here. I'm going to actually have them move towards Rebalban for the time being. Get that supply down there. So I'll have them unload. Absolutely, Erkkijuusto. Have a good one, my friend. So that's 6,776 tons of supply there. We have the 2 AKEs over here as well. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use them essentially like floating oilers in a way. well, obviously oilers float, but you know what I mean. Use them like oilers in a way. So when I have them move as direct as they can, just because I could potentially use them to refuel from if we need to. Still over, Gary. I don't think we're going to have a stream carry on too much longer, really. We do have our DDs over here that have been refueled, which is nice. We have BLeAcHACiD, HATACACiD, which works. PBs over here, so that's good news. So these patrol boats over here will be able to refuel a truck, and we can also have them carry 4,000 tons of supply. So we can actually have them carry 4,000 tons of supply down here to Ley. That'd be nice. Yeah, more aircraft obviously is always a good thing there. Shiri Toko will be moving into truck tomorrow. So she'll actually be able to... Well, she should be moving into truck tomorrow. Actually moving so slow. Ops there. That's interesting. Might have been refueled at sea. But anyway, she'll arrive at truck. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe the day after. But we'll get her loaded up. Which will mean that we actually have a oiler then to use, which is nice. I still wish we had the oiler down here to Largy, but hey. Okay. It's an interesting day. We haven't been able to claw back victory points yet, but we still have opportunities here. It does make me wonder, is he heading over here to Cooktown? See, it's interesting because we do have a few options here. I don't know if we want to chase the carriers as such. He might, I don't know, will he go this way? We do thankfully have some subs over here potentially to use against him. We do also have a bombardment mission set up for Darwin. It's moving into bombard Darwin at 32,000 yards. So ideally that actually brings out some success there. I forgot to move these subs actually. So we actually do have another 3 submarines over here. Okay. Cool. Right, so we landed here. Gonna go ahead and attack. Take that base. Cancel and load. Okay. So I'm moving this down here to Makassar. The reason being so I can transfer the 5th Air Division. The good thing is Kandarai, the 11th Air Fleet over here, it actually does have a range of 5, which is nice because that actually allows us to use torpedoes and Makassar either way, really. So I'm going to actually have that Air HQ possibly moved over here to Benj Marsden, but I'm going to have it actually moved in as soon as we can to this base over here. The reason being it's level 4 airfield, so if I could get some engineers and also get the get the aviation headquarters in here, it'd mean that we'd be able to fly things very effectively, and it also mean that we'd have torpedoes there immediately, which would be very nice. I don't think the immediate torpedoes is a requirement, but obviously something we would prefer to have. We still have to bear in mind that Hermes is still out there. There might be potentially an additional British carrier at some point in the very near future if it's not already arrived. So having torpedo capability then in the area to cover us would be very nice. Okay. Right, you're moving in there to Saigon. In fairness, I'm probably going to have them load up supply and move back out. I might go ahead and pick up another unit in fairness. Like, having aviation support is really, really important whenever we need it. I do have 2 AVs over here I can use. Now, he's patrolling around here at Mersing. This would be beautiful territory if we actually get VSW squadrons out here. It would be beautiful territory. As soon as we get the ASW squadrons out in force, it's going to be a completely different story for him to operate submarines around here. That's going to be nice. Alright, it's going to go ahead and save again. Make sure we don't lose anything. We'll go ahead and we'll actually check on R&D and production. Okay. So we are expanding the R-34. We'd had, yeah, it actually slipped. On the original engine plan, we were meant to have 60 of these engines, but we had forgotten about it. And so we're going to have less engines than we would have had at that point. But oh well, in some ways it might, I don't know, it works out. We're going to have less engines, which is not as good. We'll still get them. It'll take 30 days, obviously, for it to be fully complete. But it's one of those where we had the additional supply in that meantime, so who knows? It doesn't really matter that much. Obviously, we can't get those days back, so yeah. Okay. So we have one more facility here for the Key 43s, and then I think our airfield expansion should be completely done then. For the time being, that is. Which is nice. We'll not be spending any supply then on actually building facilities while repairing facilities, technically. Let's see then, what do we have here? Yep, again, that ground that we need here for the A672 Roofy. No, it's not a bad aircraft. I mean, maybe we'll eventually use in the future. How much HAR-43? I'm trying to recall actually what uses the HAR-43 now, to be honest. Actually, if I go to R&D. Oh yeah, there you go, key. Is it key 83? What am I doing? I'm bloody trying to find the right button. Here we go. Let's see. Ah, fuck's sake. Right, there we go. Yeah, it's also the Helen as well that'll be using it. The Key 83 will use the Key 83 uses the 43, not the 34. Yeah. It's going to be for the Helens primarily. Okay, let's go ahead and double check over here then. Right. Looking forward to when we have the Nix. With the Helen, it arrives pretty damn early anyway. It's not that we're trying to bring it forward. It's because it's going to be arriving pretty soon anyway. And the reason why we wanted more of those engines was obviously just to... It would obviously have speeded things up, potentially. But also just having more of those engines in stock so we can actually produce them. Just get more numbers out there sooner rather than later. Also, we'll have them... We'll have them obviously stockpiled. Oh, HAR-43. Oh, 43, right, okay, I misread that. Sometimes you guys are so rude. You know what, BGG, I'm gonna watch one of your streams, I'm gonna trip you up as well. I thought you meant the 34, fair enough. Right. Yeah, 43 is looking pretty good. We still have 15 facilities being built there. So 30, 60, 90, 20 there. So we'll have quite a few... Well, we'll have quite a decent chunk of 43 production. Okay. Looking good. Still looking at Bashi. Okayama. Tokyo. I was kind of hoping for another 3, but unfortunately not. But that's fine. That's fine. Need that one to actually get somewhere. But it's probably going to be left... Well, then again, no, to be fair. These ones are kind of... I don't know. We'll have to leave them as they are, really. Well, it's going to... It goes slow because it's so far away. But that's fine. We're not going to have all of these facilities, really. What we'll do is we'll just, like, trim out the ones that really aren't going anywhere. And we'll have them changed over to other airframes. But it's still getting there, in fairness. Once they get to the size, then it doesn't really matter anymore, because then we can get the engines in there, and we can bring the date forward. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay. Sendai's on her way. Yeah, so what we're going to be looking at doing then is we're going to have Shoho released from Japan shortly. We'll have Shoho then and a couple majority fighters. We'll have Shoho then actually lead the illusion operations, which would be quite nice. I mean, what we'll be able to do then with that point is actually have an air cover on hand and actually having a decent bit of like actual surface combatant escort is we should be able to take all these islands. We know roughly where his main carriers are. He might have a fourth carrier by this point. We do have the plus 15, minus 15 arrival dates that can vary between 15 days either way or anything in between there. So he probably does have a fourth carrier around here at some point. Probably has arrived. But oh well. We should be able to manage this. If we go in there with the ability to stay, that'd be quite good. But if we go in here and make these like general defense bases, that'd be nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at signal intelligence then. So, heavy volume radio transmissions detected Batavia. It looks like it moved in more bombers as we saw. Lahaina, Kodiak, Vancouver, Great Falls, and Pago. Okay. I was looking to see if I see anything else here. But no, we're looking pretty good, which is weird to say. Oh dear. Okay. Pretty good day then, actually. All things said. It would have been nice had we had more repairs at Bal, but hey, it is what it is. It gives us a lot to work with. Need to get this airfield actually increase in size. I could potentially have the reconnaissance units moved over here to whatever the hell this base is called. No problems. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go with that then. So thank you very much, man, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's been a much better day then. And God, I started this stream so very anxious. So very glad it hasn't gone the way that I feared it would do. So I'm very happy with that. Very happy. Hope you guys are as well. So I'm going to go ahead and say a big thank you to my lovely patrons. So thank you Mr. Ove Cato Borsheim, Susana and Daniel, Stanislav, Fun4123, Alex Dilgen Gravy, paradigmblue, Thunder, Erkkijuusto, Dinglebat4, Mr. Baines, KO, BLeAcHACiD, Eric Wild, Spacht, Imperator Thrawn, Rick Chambers, James Lindsay, George Kilgore, Iceycrome, Talon1E, deepicduck, Raphael, Paul Sanders, SunYan, The Forgotten, Lord Luba, Ricky Blinson, and Gregory VanHouten. Thank you very much to all of my loyal patrons. You guys are awesome. You allow me to indulge in a lot of books, essentially. Much appreciated. And of course to all of you who are viewing this right now. Awesome to have you. Jesus, it's 33 of you guys? Wow. You guys really like to see me suffer, don't you? Until next time. Tanahaika Banzai. Aisuminasai. And Jenny. Sayonara. Goodbye for now.